Welcome to TradeTheMVI.com. This is Isabella. This video report is for April 18th, and here's my dad.
Thank you for that, Isabella. And nice little power up day here off the reset. So we're pretty much dead even with where we were before. We had the ABM green violation that took place just right back there. We're just hitting up against it. Haven't really been able to significantly penetrate it back to the upside, but you'll notice that from the extreme histogram standpoint, daily wise, the dip below the negative 50 right there, bullish, not moving into oversold. Move up here and you would start the new breakout towards highs. Not going to take too much to get back up to the peak levels. Be surprised how quick that goes. In fact, yesterday, 20 fast points was pretty quick and easy. Not as much power on the NASDAQ, but you can see the NASDAQ's in much better condition in general, simply because it's a little further up on that ABM and rising. Still, we've been, yes, in a relative short signal from all the way back here when DOC spread started, and we've stayed above there and we keep having the crossovers. In fact, that orange caught in between the zone indicates that we really aren't going to be moving a whole lot. Just a little back and forth action. Euro seems to be gaining some strength here on the idea. I think they believe that they've squelched Le Pen enough that she isn't going to be as big a factor. That's at least the consideration here in a rising euro. Not to mention the central banks have to keep defending this area at this particular point. Oversold wise, it's at a decent reset. We didn't move below though, with the orange below the red, and so while this is moving nicely in a nice strong DOC readings, you're not getting a whole lot for it, and that's typically what tends to happen before these start to roll over when we don't get that dip like here when you had the strong dip below the red. You had a major push, so I don't expect to see the same push from that. Bonds, this is maintained strength here. Crazy, but oh well. Got to go with what is. It's gotten overbought, so we're going to need to retrace some of these. That's not necessarily going to indicate a collapse of any kind. It's a real battle between whether there is genuine inflation and or growth, or we're in a real weak spot. So there's a lot of mixed data right at this point. The question is whether or not the exuberance of Trump talk can outweigh the systemic problems that exist within the broader economy. And oil, its rise should be short-lived as soon as they realize that there isn't going to be enough consumption to handle the supply that exists. But you got a lot of people short covering there, so that is enough to push things. Likewise with gold is just being acquired by major central governments, and that's going to continue to be the case. Nowhere but up for that, so retraces, though we've already got some that are set to happen within it. Wouldn't take much to fill them, but needless to say, I think that the longer term bias to the upside is still built into it. And here we had our reset that took place right down here at the bottom. Started a nice little slow ebb up, and that continued. Every time we ended up with any move above the plus 13.5 happened in rising azure blue areas, which indicate you're not going to get a whole lot, and that's exactly what happened at that particular point. Your weakest spot took place right about there, and then after that it was just a slow ride up. And then we finally got a breach right up here at the peak. Took place right as we crossed down below here and broke below all of the 76% support at 43 in that, which 43 was our pivot number from a daily standpoint anyway as well, and dipped below it right to the 50% line, which has been rising and supporting off that as we speak. Not too horrible, but obviously we've got to see a bit of a reset here. Steel being down from the low could give some potential, so it's just a matter of we're going to see a turnaround in short-term and long-term buyers here on the 5K chart to turn it around. I don't think it'll take much to get back to even. This is a nice fill-in for some of the positive extremes that took place from right about here. So those have all been filled in, which is nice and healthy. So all in all, not a bad start to the week. As always, though, continue to look for me on the Skype chat, and we'll keep putting up charts. Do want to caution everyone, do not bother to see that Fast and Furious movie. That was probably the the worst storyline and the most ridiculous that I think I've ever seen. So that's a definite way to save some money right there, and use that to buy into a futures. As always, trade well. We'll talk to you later.